When we as people get out of our comfort zones and try things that we have never before tried, we discover new things about ourselves as individuals. I can remember graduating from high school and not really knowing a whole lot about myself. I thought I knew all the answers to everything, like most high school kids do, but to be honest with you, I really didn't know what I wanted to do or what direction I was necessarily going in life. And there were a lot of things about life that I didn't quite understand at that time. And I was curious to know more about what life was about. I was curious to know more about myself. And I really wasn't doing anything to push myself out of my comfort zone, or I really wasn't trying new things that would allow me to find any new information about what life was about or who I was as a person. And my dad, who's a big biker, he invited me to go on this bike ride. And by bike ride, I mean like bike trip. I mean, he's pretty serious about these rides. And he told me that we're going to ride our bikes from Idaho Falls to the Island Park Ashton area. And then from there, we were going to go over to Grand Teton National Park. And we're going to bike pretty much the whole length of Grand Teton National Park and end at the ski resort in Jackson. And I remember thinking to myself, oh man, this is a pretty ambitious plan, Dad. Like, I don't really know what's going to happen, but sure, I'll go on this trip with you because I wanted to see what it was like. I wanted to see what was out there, and I'd never done anything like this before, and I thought it would be a good experience to try something new, to maybe tap into some form of self-discovery. I remember coming back from the trip, and I thought I had only learned two things. One is that you need padded pants to ride a bike for 3 days because my butt was so sore by the end of it that I didn't even really want to sit down. Like, I don't even know how I made it to the ski resort at Jackson, but I made it. And then the second lesson that I thought I had learned at the time was that you always need to bring sunblock with you because I had burnt so bad I was pretty much the red lobster out there, and I had failed to bring any sunblock along. However, as the years have gone by and as I've gotten older, I realized that because I went on that trip, I did have some sense of self discovery. And because I tried something new, I learned new things about myself and the world that I had never really thought of before I went on this trip. And the first lesson I learned is that life is like one big dirt road. And the second day of the trip, we rode one big long dirt road all the way into Grand Teton National Park. And I mean, this road had potholes, this road had flies, this road had dust, and it was just a miserable time. And looking back on that experience, I realized that life is really a lot like one big dirt road. Uh, there are horseflies, there are potholes, there's a lot of dust, and life can really be long. And life is like that road. I didn't know it at the time, but life can be kind of like a grind. And fortunately for us, I think that helps us grow as human beings. But had I not gone on that trip, I wouldn't have learned that life really is like one big long dirt road. The second thing that I learned is in order to get past the long dirt roads, you need to just keep pedaling. And when you're riding anywhere from 50 to 70 miles a day, you don't pedal very fast. But I learned that just, pedaling nice and slow and or even a moderate pace at times is it'll get you off that dirt road and it'll get you to better places. And that in order to overcome certain obstacles and certain adversities in life, all we can do is really just keep trekking on. All we can do is pedal, and that we can overcome things that we previously thought that we couldn't have overcome. The third thing I learned about that trip is that there definitely is beauty in the journey. I can remember the last day when we were about to get to the ski resort in Jackson, riding through Grand Teton National Park and seeing all the flowers and seeing the mountains and seeing the wildlife and just being in a beautiful place. And realizing that even though life has these struggles and life has these challenges, that there are beautiful moments in life, and that really each one of us is capable of pushing through those hard times to get to the good times, or to even experience joy when we are sometimes in painful moments. And I can remember being in a lot of pain. I mean, I had like the sorest butt I think I've ever had, and I was, like I said, the Red Lobster, just like basically a lobster like pedaling a bike. I was so red and so hot, but I can just remember feeling the joy through the pain and knowing that I could do hard things. And I think a lot of times in life we get caught up in these monotonous schedules. We get caught up in these habits that aren't necessarily pushing us to find out more about ourselves, or they're not pushing us to be more diverse people who are able to pivot and who are able to really reach our full potential as human beings. I feel like a lot of the times we wake up in the morning, we check our Facebook, we check our Instagram, we see what's going on in the news, we let that get under our skin too much, and we go to work, we go to school, we interact with the same people, we never really get out of our bubble, we never get out of our comfort zone, and we really never, truly fully appreciate or realize what is happening around us in life. And I think a lot of the times too, we tend to let obstacles kind of be a crutch as to why we can't do certain things, and we aren't willing to fully push through and break down those obstacles and become stronger people. And I would probably still be a lot the same way, honestly, if I hadn't gone on that bike ride. If I hadn't realized that my body and my mind and my spirit could push through the hard times to get to the good, I probably wouldn't have that viewpoint that I do today. We as human beings are so capable of doing a lot of things, and we're so capable of getting out of our comfort zones and trying new things. And I think we'd be surprised at how good we are at things that we never thought we'd be good at, or how capable we are of doing things that we may have previously thought were impossible. That bike ride for me was really a period of self-discovery. And we all have that ability to discover ourselves through doing certain things. And I'm not saying that you need to go on a 3-day bike trip, get saddle sores, get sunburnt, suffer a little bit to be able to discover something new about yourself. But I mean, it literally could be as simple as talking to someone new every day. It could be as simple as just simply changing a habit. It could be as simple as going someplace new every day that you hadn't been before. There's so many ways to self-discovery. But one thing I do know is that when we do push ourselves, when we do things that we wouldn't have otherwise done, that we really do learn new things about ourselves, that we're able to overcome more trial and tribulation, that we're able to push through hard times, and that we're able to see the beauty and the joy that's around us when we're in those times as well. That bike ride wasn't just a bike ride for me. It was a painful bike ride, but it was also a bike ride of self-discovery. And each one of us has the ability to discover ourselves through the power of self-discovery. So let's get out there, try something new. Doesn't need to be anything too crazy, but let's all take our own individual ride into self-discovery.